Hey, Pound Cake family. Welcome back to another episode of Whip It Like Butter. It's your girl, Ashley. And y'all, the pound cake we have today, she's big, she's black, she's beautiful. She's no other than a mile high, dark chocolate pound cake. Now, y'all don't go showing out in them comments. Y'all, okay, so we got chocolate on chocolate, chocolate cake with a chocolate glaze. And I thought about adding like some white ice. I like, no. This is a dark chocolate pound cake. This is chocolate on chocolate, perfect for chocolate lovers. Now, you may say, what am I going to do with all that cake? Y'all, the holidays are coming up. Perfect time for a large cake like this to feed a crowd. You can also cut it up in slices and give it to your coworkers just because, or for the holidays, you can also give it to people as a gift. Or you just may like pound cake, or you may have a big family, but a pound cake like this is definitely where it's at, especially if you're feeding a large crowd. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'll show you how we do it. Let's go. Okay, y'all, we're going to start by whipping that butter. We're using 4 sticks for this recipe that are, of course, at room temperature. That means you can indent the butter with your finger, and then that's how you know it's at room temperature. So it shouldn't be too extra soft or too firm. So we're going to slowly add in our sugar a little bit at a time until it's nice and combined. And we're going to let that go for maybe 3 to 5 minutes till it starts sticking on the side of the bowl, and until it's nice and fluffy. And then we go ahead and add our next ingredient, which is our vanilla extract. And then we're going to add our eggs to the bowl one at a time until each one is combined. We have two different colors in this bowl because, honey, I had brown and I had regular eggs, white eggs. So I just went ahead and threw both in there. I had, a combination, and I like both of them. So it doesn't matter. People used to say brown is used for baking. I use either or. So we're going to scrape down the sides of the bowl right here with our rubber spatula. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our cocoa powder, our dark chocolate cocoa powder, y'all, okay? Because I love this stuff. It's better to me than regular chocolate, but you can also use that in this recipe. You don't have to use dark chocolate, all right? So we're gonna get that all nice and combined. Of course, it's good to use a guard if you can because the cocoa might splash everywhere. All right, and then we're gonna add our flour that already has our baking powder and our salt in here, and we're gonna alternate with our buttermilk that's also at room temperature as well. So you always, of course, start with your flour and end with your flour until you get everything nice and combined. And y'all, this is a big cake, so I used my big mixer this time. If you have a big mixer, that's preferred. But you can also use a hand mixer. You do not need to have a stand mixer to make a pound cake. A hand mixer works just fine. All right, so I'm showing you all sped up how we just went ahead and finished this at the end. You can add in threes, fours, fives, as long as you start with your flour and end with your flour. And I like to hand mix at the end, starting with the sides and then coming around the bottom and then coming into the rest of the cake batter. So we already have our oven preheated. Ooh, can't talk. 325 degrees, y'all. This cake's gonna take a while to cook because it's nice and large. So about an hour and a half. It could take an hour and 45 minutes. Make sure that you do your toothpick test so you know when this cake is done. I went ahead and prepared this pan real well. Went ahead and came in with my pastry brush so I can just make sure I get all in the creases and crevices, especially around the middle. Pour that batter in there. We're gonna go ahead and tap it. And like I said, y'all, an hour and a half. Don't expect this cake to cook in an hour and 15 minutes. It's not like a regular pound cake. This is 18 cups of pound cake, y'all. Okay. And I did we'll talk about that in a minute. I did chocolate icing, but you could also use white icing with this cake. All right. Because I wanted this like real chocolate. I don't know. If it's going to be chocolate, let's make it chocolate. But it was a lot of chocolate. It was almost like put me in the mind of Death by Chocolate Pound Cake. So y'all know when I have my batter, I like to lay it in 2 sections. So that's what I did here. Make sure you, of course, spread the top of your cake. Get as even as possible. As Lazy Susan helps me out with that, as well as also with laying my batter into the pan. You can find it in my Amazon store. It's in the description box. Also, the link to the pan as well. So our cake is done. We let it cool for 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and flip that thing over. And look, ooh, it just slid right out of the pan, nice and pretty. And you know what? I thought about leaving it on this side, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna do something different, just like I did with the $1 million pound cake, and go ahead and flip it over And we're gonna decorate this side of it. I like the characterization of the pound cake, how it cracks at the top. It's completely normal. If you never made a pound cake, don't worry about that. It's pound cake character. Okay, let's make the icing. So we're still using powdered sugar. We're using cocoa powder, all right, and we're using vanilla, and we're gonna add some milk. Get that all nice and blended, all nice and smooth. Okay, we're making a glaze. We're not making frosting, so it'll set a little bit as it sets, but it won't be hard and it won't be super thick, depending on how you make your icing. So if you have extra icing left over, which I recommend, um, I would just, when you get ready to use it, just whip it up a little bit and it'll return drippy like this. You could also pop it in the microwave for a few seconds. I really love this with the extra icing and not just the icing drizzled over the top of the cake, y'all. This is a lot of cake. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this slice. And then we're gonna get into my favorite part, which is the taste test. I couldn't wait to taste this cake. Y'all know I'm not chocolate crazy, but this cake was definitely amazing. Okay, let's get into the taste test. Now that it's time for the taste test, I'm sitting here thinking like a little bit of whipped cream would have been nice with this. But we're gonna go ahead and eat it just like this. All right, y'all know the bottom part is my favorite. Need some milk or something. This is so much. Let's see. I gotta close my eyes. Mmm. Y'all, that Dutch process cocoa. I had that cake tasting just like a chocolate brownie. That icing where it's at. It's usually my favorite part. But this icing is where it's at. This cake is not overly sweet. If you want a little bit sweeter, you may want to cut back on a little bit of the cocoa. It's definitely great. Nice, good balance. Mm-hmm. Up here, and after 2 or 3 days with no seasoning set in, this cake really gonna be bomb. You know what? It might be good. I'm thinking too, this would be great even drizzled with some caramel. Oh, and some nuts. Yeah, I'm making this into a whole nother cake now. It's about to be turtle cake. But I want y'all to go ahead and get in that description box so you can get this recipe. You can also get the clickable link in my comments so you can go right to my website, get the full recipe with the ingredients, instructions, how you get the cocoa that I use in this recipe and all that. But make sure you don't be stingy. Share this video, like, comment, subscribe, and come back and join us for more over here with the Life Butter. Bye. That icing slap. Real. I need a little extra icing on the side.